Hello and welcome. In this tutorial, we'll explore a variety of straightforward line animations that will enhance your map projects in After Effects, giving your animations a more polished and dynamic look. Select the pen tool and draw a line anywhere you want on the map. Change the line cap to round. Now deselect the shape layer and select the ellipse tool and draw a circle on each end of the path. Change the color to your liking. The first line animation will be covered in detail, while the subsequent animations will be presented concisely. So make sure to watch the initial tutorial completely. I will simply duplicate the circle and place it on the other end of the path. Drag the path layer to the top. Don't forget to name your layers to avoid confusion. Select both circles, press T to reveal opacity property. Add keyframes and change the value to 0. Move your playhead 5 frames forward and change the value to 100. Select the path layer, twirl down the properties, and select Add. And select Trim Paths. Now, twirl down Trim Path properties, add a keyframe for end, and change the value to 0%. Move the playhead forward and revert the value back to 100%. Select both keyframes, right-click, hover over Keyframe Assistant, and select Easy Ease. You can also easy ease these keyframes for opacity of circles. Now select the keyframes of the circle at the end of the path, and align the initial keyframe with the final keyframe of the end property within Trim Paths for the path. Now, add a plane icon into your composition. I have it pre-imported in my project, and will proceed to add it to the composition. Rescale if needed. To make the plane follow the path, twirl down the shape properties of the path, select the path property, and copy it. Now select the icon, press P to open position property, select it, and paste. Keyframes will be added to position property. Adjust them if needed to match the duration of the path. Easy ease these keyframes too, so the path and plane move at the same speed. Let's make some minor changes to enhance the visuals. Select the icon and press S to reveal scale property. Add a keyframe. Now press T to reveal opacity property. Add a keyframe. Press U to reveal all keyframes. Select Scale and Opacity keyframes and change the value to 0%. Move 10 frames forward and revert the values. Select all 4 keyframes and easy ease them. Now align the initial keyframes with the first keyframe of position. Select all 4 keyframes, copy and paste them, aligning with the last keyframes of the position property. Right-click, hover over Keyframe Assistant, and select Time Reverse Keyframes. It will run the animation backward for those keyframes. Now let's add shadow for the path. Select the pen tool and draw a straight line from circle A to B. Disable the fill and enable stroke only. Change the color to black and opacity to 50%. Twirl down the path properties, select the Trim Paths and copy. Now paste it onto the shadow you created. To change the solid line to dashed line, simply twirl down the shape then stroke property and click on the plus button in front of dashes. Increase the size of dashes if you want. As you can observe, the airplane isn't rotating along the path. To correct this, right-click on the icon layer, go to Transform, select Auto Orient, and then choose Orient Along Path. Select the pen tool and draw a path anywhere on the map. Change the color if you want. Keep the playhead at the beginning. Twirl down the shape properties, click on Add, and select Trim Paths. Twirl down the Trim Path properties and add a keyframe for end, and change the value to 0%. Move the playhead at 2 seconds, and change the value back to 100%. Change the line cap to round. Select both keyframes and Easy Ease. Now select the shape layer and press Ctrl+D to duplicate. Move the new layer 5 frames forward and change the color. You can repeat the process if you want to add more lines. Select the pen tool and draw a line where you want. Now hold the Alt button and drag the handle to the center of the anchor point. Continue the path. Hold the Alt button and drag the handle to the center of the anchor point. Repeat the process to create multiple paths. Twirl down the shape properties, click on Add, and select Trim Paths. Twirl down Trim Paths properties and add a keyframe for end. Move the playhead forward and add another keyframe. Change the value of first keyframe to 0%. Change the line cap to round. Press Ctrl+D to make another copy of the shape. Press U to reveal all keyframes. Shift the keyframes of the top shape slightly forward to introduce a subtle delay between the two lines. Change the color of line above. Select all keyframes and Easy Ease. Select the pen tool and create a path anywhere you like. Twirl down the shape properties, click on Add, and select Trim Paths. Twirl down Trim Paths properties and add a keyframe for end. Move the playhead forward and change the value to 40%. Go to the first keyframe and change the value to 0%. Duplicate the shape layer and move it forward to align with the second end keyframe of the bottom layer. Let's move it 10 more frames forward. Press U to reveal all keyframes. Adjust the first keyframe's value to 60%. And set the start value to match at 60% as well. Change the value of second keyframe of end to 100%. This is how it looks. Now I will add the plane icon to the composition. Rescale if needed. Adjust the position and rotation. Select the first shape layer. Press U to reveal the keyframes. Drag the playhead to last keyframe of end. Now select the top layer of plane. Press T to reveal opacity property. Add a keyframe. Then press S to reveal scale property. And again add a keyframe. Now press U to reveal all keyframes. Change the value of scale and opacity to 0%. Move the keyframe 10 frames forward and revert the values. You can also slight animate the position property from left to right or any other direction you want. Select all the layer, press U to reveal the keyframes. Select all keyframes and Easy Ease. Select the pen tool and create a path anywhere you like. Change the color to your liking. Change the line cap to round. Twirl down the shape properties, click on Add, and select Trim Paths. Twirl down Trim Paths properties and add a keyframe for end. Change the value to 0%. Move the playhead forward and revert the value to 100%. Press Ctrl+D to duplicate the shape layer. Change the color. Slightly move forward the top layer to create a slight delay in the animation of both lines. To change the solid line to dashed line, simply twirl down the Shape then Stroke property and click on the plus button in front of dashes. Increase the size of dashes if you want. Twirl down the Trim Paths properties, add a keyframe for offset, aligning with the initial keyframe of end. Move the playhead forward and add another keyframe, aligning with the second keyframe of end, and change the value to 40. Hold Alt and left click on the stopwatch next to offset.